All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for hopping on our Tuesday group Zoom. I didn't call it a conference call. It's great to see you. Thank you very much for showing up and being here. Tonight's topic is talking about the compensation plan. Can be exciting because it does have to do with money. And though we love to say that we do Scentsy for fun, we do also do it for the money. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you earn money, but the second part you might find interesting is some numbers kind of showing you where paychecks are at based on size of team and the growing your business and why it's important to grow your business and how to see the potential with the rise in income. So those are the things that we're going to talk about tonight. I don't anticipate it's going to take the full time. So you might get out a little early tonight. Cassie, what announcements do we have for this week?
Let me switch my screen. Okay, so a few news articles went up on the 18th. They're emailing customers to promote pet products. There is going to be some navigation changes coming to the workstation. It'll take effect later this week. So they didn't exactly say like it's going to take effect Thursday or Friday, but just keep, you log into your workstation daily, you'll eventually see some changes there. Category tabs will be displayed differently. Subcategories will be in a little bit different spot, it looks like, and improvements in the store for consultants with international teams, it looks like. So, and then the Star Wars lead generation report is now available. I just now saw that today. I didn't see that one yesterday, so that my news tab just refreshed itself. And then they also did a news article about what to expect at Scentsy Family Reunion. And then today, Scentsy did a video with Eldon and Sarah and Jason that I did share to the page. So they talked about some fun stuff with reunion coming up. And then they have also updated the agenda on the events tab in the workstation. And then big reminder, you have until April 30th to sign up for either in-person or virtual SFR. And then product status list, the Easter Scentsy Bar 3-pack is coming back on Thursday. R2D2 lid is coming back Thursday. And of course, the Star Wars stuff launches Thursday afternoon as well.
Thank you very much. And when Cassie referred to the lead generation report for Star Wars being available, I just want to call your attention to it. It is under reporting on your workstation under sales reports. And then there is a Star Wars lead generation report. What that means is if anybody has gone to Scentsy.com and put in their email address or gone to your website and put in your information. If they went to Scentsy.com, put in your information as a consultant, filled out a form saying they're interested in Star Wars, it'll show up on your lead generation. Same with if they went to your website and filled out the form that said they were interested in Star Wars, that will fall out in this lead generation report that you have access to on your workstation. There's also one for Harry Potter, just in case you missed that. So something just to call your attention to. Okay, let's talk about the compensation plan. So I want to do this one first. So let me share my screen with you. And I didn't check the chat if there were any questions. So hold on. Okay, no questions. So let me do the recording. I mean, the sharing screen. All right. So first things first, you guys have seen this. It may make sense to you. It may not, because you're used to seeing it, but maybe you have never actually dove in to see what it means. It does range from all titles. So from right when you start all the way up to Superstar Director. There's your monthly responsibilities and then the monthly rewards. We will cover these and we will cover this chart here in a second, but this is what you're accustomed to seeing in the catalog. This is our compensation chart. The really cool thing is that our compensation plan has not changed since Scentsy has been in business. That's a very good thing. companies and direct selling companies that change their compensation plan typically end up closing their doors. And so there's been kind of an unofficial promise or handshake. Orville has said many times in the past, we will not change the compensation plan. So that is a good thing. So we're going to break this down. Switch to right here. Okay, check out that old logo. That is one of the original logos. Here's what this means. I just told you that the compensation plan hasn't changed, which means all compensation plan trainings and references will be still relevant. So can you see this okay? Or do I need to go full screen? You can see it okay. All right, so let's go over a couple definitions really quick. And I promise you, I will sail through the kind of boring stuff so that we can get to just some fun numbers and things like that. A team is the total number of enrolled consultants under any consultant, another consultant, down to but not including their next director. So what that means is anybody that is on my team, whether I sponsored them personally, or let's say I sponsored Cassie and Cassie sponsored Ginger, both Cassie and Ginger are on my team, even though Cassie is the one who sponsored Ginger. Now, let's say that Cassie promotes out to director. She becomes her own team, okay? Everybody can only ever have one team as a director. And so Cassie would become her own team and take Ginger with her. And then let's say I also have Tammy, because if she wasn't a director, she would remain on my team. But Cassie comes off of my team and becomes her own team and takes Ginger and the rest of her downline with her. That's not a bad thing. That's a very good thing. You would like to have as many directors as possible. So when you have a director, that means that that team has sold at least $10,000 in Scentsy. So to have many directors, that means you have many teams selling over $10,000 in Scentsy a month. So a group then begins with the consultant. So let's say it's me, and includes all enrolled downline consultants and directors. So for instance, Andrea Hatch, who's on here, she's one of our SSDs. Andrea Hatch is my upline, which means all of us appear in Andrea's group. Okay. I'm in her downline. Under me, all of you, for the most part, unless you're just directly under Andrea or under Andrea's downline, you're all part of my group. So the groups are, Andrea has a group that encompasses us, and then I have a group that encompasses below Andrea. It's made up of a bunch of different teams. So teams are the individual director-led squads. All of those teams make up a group. That is why you'll see a TWV, which is team wholesale volume, and you will see a GWV, which is group wholesale volume, which means everybody. A generation, and we're just going through these just so you understand some lingo. Generation is the relationship between an upline director and a downline director. The first director in a leg is first generation. The next director in that leg is second generation, and then third generation. So in this example, if Cassie is my frontline and she is a director, and then Ginger is under Cassie and then she becomes a director, and then under Ginger, we'll flip the script, Jody's under Ginger, and she would become my third generation director. Now I said that in a funny way because Ginger is actually under Jody. So, but I flipped the script for the example. So first, second, third generation. Now generations don't have to fall exactly consecutively in line. A lot of times you will have somebody in between that doesn't have enough people in place to promote to director, but someone underneath them does. And if they have all of the people in place and the numbers in place to promote to director, they remain under this person. However, they become my generation director. Okay. We have an example of this coming up. I'm not going to even talk about breakaway at the moment. Okay. Breakaway is when a consultant is promoted to director, they break away from their sponsor's team. I already kind of gave you that. Cassie, when she promotes, she becomes a director, she breaks away from my team. Their team wholesale volume is no longer a part of mine. So a lot of people will say, well, gosh, that kind of stinks. You promote out a director and you lose at least $10,000 in TWV. Well, that's a good thing, because when you promote out a director, you have a higher percentage that you get paid when you have than if they were still remaining under you, okay, at Superstar Consultant. Downline organization is same as group. Level is the layers of downline organization. So not to be confused, there's levels and generations. Generations appear or apply to directors. Levels are team members. So if somebody is 5 down from me, they're a level 5, meaning it would go, in my example, Cassie, then Ginger, then Jody, then Tammy, or whatever. And then the 5th person would be my 5th level. So levels are within teams, and generations have to do with directors. Frontline is somebody who is, you directly sponsored them. So that's a frontline. Or maybe somebody that you originally sponsored someone, but the person you sponsored is no longer with Scentsy. Their team or their frontline rolls up and becomes your frontline. So a lot of times you will have, when you start growing a team, you will have a frontline that becomes your frontline that maybe you didn't originally sponsor. A leg is each frontline consultant and their respective group. So if I have Cassie, not a director yet, and Ginger and Jody, and then Tammy, and that is Cassie's leg. Okay, still part of my team, still part of my group, but Cassie's leg. Okay, does that make sense?
Melissa, do you see the question? What happens when one of my sponsored consultants surpass my rank or title? Are they still part of my team or group?
All right, so hang on to that. Hang on to that question, okay? And Tammy, thank you for helping me with. Thank you, baby. Hang on to those questions, and if I don't cover something by the end, then we'll go through those.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, retail profit. The 20% or 25% that a consultant earns in commissions from personal retail sales is calculated from 100% of their retail price. So 20% is only when you're an essential consultant, the first $1,000 that you sell, then you promote to certified consultant and you make 25% forever. Okay. The most you can ever make in by moving up the compensation plan is 25%. However, there is a way to earn 30% in any given month if you sell over $2,000 personally in retail volume. Okay, but no matter if you are a certified consultant or a superstar director, 25% is your commission. So 25% commission on a $100 order without shipping and taxes, that's not included, would be a $25 commission check. Okay. Personal retail sales volume is the commissionable value of products sold in a calendar month by the company to a consultant or by the company to a consultant's customer. That's basically PRV. Wholesale volume, because you have to remember we deal in 2 different types of numbers. You have retail volume, which is the catalog price. You have retail volume, which is basically the catalog price, unless it is something where, you know, a lot of the licensed products, we will, I gotta let people in 1 second. Let me make, Tammy, I'm making you co-host so that if anybody's in the waiting room, you can let them in. Thank you.
Okay.
So there's the retail price, which is what is posted. That's the price we charge our customers. There's the retail volume, or the PRV, which is however many points that item is. So if you sell a bar of wax, it is a retail price of $6 and you get 6 points of PRV for it. However, in the case of licensed products, you will always see that if it's a $55 licensed item, you might only get 50 points of PRV. And that's because Scentsy has to pay out that royalty for that licensed product. So they cannot pay the royalty and give us full credit basically for that sale. So we're dealing in 2 numbers. That's the retail volume. Then we have the wholesale volume. Wholesale volume is whatever the retail is times 75%. How do you get wholesale volume? you're basically taking your commission out of it. So we have a $6 bar, you times that by 75%, and the wholesale volume on that, I'm not good at math, so forgive me, is $4.50. Okay, so that's if we're taking just a very simple bar of wax, a $6 bar of wax, that's the retail price. Wholesale volume is the commission taken out of it. Okay. So we have PWV, TWV, GWV, team wholesale volume, group wholesale volume. We'll get to those in just a minute. Active. To be active, now I see this is where I would need to update our slideshow, because to be an active consultant, you have to have at least 200 PRV during the commission period. So Scentsy has changed. It used to be you had to have $150 every 3 months. We are now $200 in 1 month out of every 12. Okay, so I do need to update that. Rebate is the amount paid to a consultant for a retail sale represented as percentage of the retail price. Don't worry yourself with that. And a bonus, the amount paid to leaders, lead consultant and above, as a percentage of PWV, wholesale volume, your wholesale volume, on personal sales, and the PWV of downline consultants. This may be a foreign language to some of you. I'm hoping I will clear this up once we get past these definitions. The title is the highest title that you have received or achieved. Okay, so that is title. Rank, however, is the qualification level at which a consultant's compensation will be determined from month to month. So the highest title I may have hit could be director. That could be the highest title I ever hit. However, if I don't meet director numbers on any given month, I might be paid at rank, which might be superstar consultant or star consultant, based on the performance of myself and my team. Okay, title is the highest rank that you've received or achieved, and rank is actually what you get paid at for that month. So many of us have had 1 month where we don't get paid at title. That's something that you'll hear us say, paid at title or not paid at title. When you are not paid at title, you are paid at rank. And that's the highest level that your numbers meet qualifications for. Okay. Understanding team and group. We kind of went over this. Your team is everyone, including you, downline, including you, downline from you, down to, but not including the first generation director. So my team is all the way to these generational directors. Then they become a team, and they become a team, and they become a team. But all of these teams make up a group. So here's just another example. Here's you, here's your team, here's your group. And then you've got these first generation directors, second generation directors, third generation, depending on how large your organization is. Title versus rank. We just went through this. So if you are a superstar consultant and have a star consultant frontline to you, so here's a good example of that question, I think. If you're a superstar consultant and you have a star consultant frontline to you, but the star consultant only qualifies during the current commission period as a lead consultant, then you would still be paid a bonus on the star consultant at title of star consultant, even though the star consultant would get paid at rank. Okay, that's like one of those story problems that you would read in math class and you'd be like, I checked out like 4 words in, right? So all of you are like, what the hell did she even just say? Basically, here's what it is. If I am a superstar consultant and Becker is my frontline, okay, and I'm a superstar consultant, Becker's my frontline, and she is a star consultant, I always get paid on what her title is. It does not matter how she ranks in the month. So whether she gets paid as a certified consultant, whether she gets paid as a lead consultant, whether she gets paid as a star consultant, it doesn't make any bit of difference to me. I will forever be paid off the highest title she has achieved. Does that make sense? For her, it matters what her numbers look like, if she's going to be paid at title or not. If her numbers and her team's numbers don't hit the qualification to be paid at star consultant, then she may be paid at lead consultant. But I will always, as her upline, be paid on what her highest title achieved is. Okay, that's what that story problem says. And that actually might not address the question that Tammy had asked. So we'll circle back around. to that.
However, not the same for directors.
Correct. Correct. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that too. But yes, thank you for that clarification. This only matters when you have superstar consultant or below. All right, essential consultant. You enroll with Scentsy, you purchase your starter kit for $59.99 free, whatever it comes for. You earn 20% commission on your first $1,000. It's you and your kit, and you are looking to sell $1,000 so that you can get a raise of 25%. That takes us to certified consultant. Do 1,000 in cumulative PRV as an essential consultant. Then you'll earn a $25 rebate on your PRV. That's your $25 commission. Earn 5% additional when your personal retail sales reach $2,000 during a commission period. So you can be an essential consultant and earn $600 every single month. If you sold $2,000 in Scentsy every single month, you, as an essential a certified consultant, you would make a $600 paycheck. You don't need a single team member to bring in $600. You just need to sell $2,000 in Scentsy a month. Boom, $600 paycheck. However, if you'd like to make more than $600, here's where we start growing a team. So a lead consultant is 500 in PRV, 1,000 GWV in the month. But don't let this get too tricky for you. One active frontline is required. So even if I had 500 PRV, actually, if I had 2,000 PRV by myself, but I don't have an active frontline that has at least $200 in the system that month, I will not promote to lead consultant. Lead consultant means you and at least one other of your frontline has to be producing over $200 a month. Well, you said to over $200 a month, but here it says it has to be over $500 a month. Right. As soon as you start taking on a leadership role within Scentsy, your minimum to get paid at title is $500 a month. So a very, very good practice is to get yourself into the habit of at least $500 a month. If you get yourself into that habit, then it isn't something that is going to be difficult for you once you start growing a team. Because in order to get paid at title, you have to have at least $500 in the system in any given month. What that $1,000 GWV means is that between you and your frontline or you and your team, you would have to sell 1,000 GWV in a month. Now, notice this is like moving inches to feet or feet into a mile. We're dealing in two different metrics, right? We're dealing in PRV. So I have to have $500 in sales, but I also have to have 1,000 GWV. Those are two different measurements, basically. So we have to do a conversion. All right. So the 500 PRV is straightforward. That is selling 500 points or 500 retail items outside of license to get you to that 500. That's easy. But what's 1,000 GWV? Well, here's the calculation, because we have to take it from wholesale to retail so that we are working in real numbers. So you take 1,000 and you divide it by 0.75. Why 0.75? Because you get 25% commission. That leaves 75% left. Okay. So you're basically, you've got to take 75%, and that gives you a total of $1,333 in PRV. Okay. Anytime there's a GWV number, write this down. Anytime there's a GWV number and you want to know what it is in retail volume, you take the GWV number and divide it by 0.75. A lot of times you'll have a team member, or even for yourself, that you're like, okay, we're at $9,800 at GWV or TWV, and we need to get to 10,000 for me to hit director. Well, if you're at 9,800 and you want to get to 10,000, that is not selling $200 in products. You have to do the conversion. So to say, I need 10,000, I have 9,800 in TWV. Yes, that's a difference of $200, but that's a difference in wholesale volume. We have to divide it by 0.75, which means we actually need $266.67 to hit that 10,000. Clear as mud. Have I lost anybody? Probably, but bear with me. And I can't see your faces. So if you're nodding or giving me a thumbs up or you're shaking your head no, I can't see your faces when I share a screen. So I just have to go by, well, I can see Tammy and Ginger and Jody and Lisa. So
You're making sense.
okay, good. So that's lead consultant. So you have 500, your active frontline has to have at least 200. Remember, I needed to update this, at least 200. But here's the thing. If we go by this model right here, that's only 500 plus 200. Again, forget that it says 150. It should say 200. 500 and 200 only equals 700 PRV. And I just told you to promote to lead, you have to have $1,333. So just because you have one person in place that is active, if your numbers don't add up to 1,000 GWV, which is 1,333 PRV, you are not going to promote to lead. So you have to check all of the boxes when it comes time to promote. You can't just have the 500 PRV. You can't just have a 500 PRV and a team of 10 that have no sales in the system, or a team of 1. You could have a team of 1, and if that person sells 2,000 and you sell 500, you have hit lead consultant. Okay, is this making sense? I want you to understand that just because you have 500 and just because you have one active frontline at 200, that still doesn't put you at lead. The two of you combined need to have at least $1,333 in PRV or 1,000 GWV. Okay, because I spent some time explaining that, it's going to make a little bit more sense as we go to Star Consultant. Star Consultant, 500 PRV, 2,500 in GWV, which means you now have to have 2 active frontline consultants or more. Okay, so you have to have, and again, remember, this is not going to add up correctly, but this is just for example's sake. You have to have at least 500 PRV. They have to have at least 200 PRV in any given month. But again, 200 and 200 is 400 plus 5 is 900. That doesn't get us to 2,500 GWV. If you see, what is the fastest way to start achieving numbers? Add more people. The more people that you have, not only in place though, but actually working their business or putting in orders from time to time, because not everybody is going to work your business or work their business like we do. We have to have them producing, or the more people that you have producing, the easier and faster you'll be able to get to your GWV. Okay. Now, one thing that I didn't do was talk about the percentages that you would get on your team when you promote. This is where this chart actually does come into play and is handy, because it's at a glance. If we look at lead consultant right here, lead consultant, 500 PRV, 1,000 GWV, and 1 active frontline is what you need. And then it goes up the chart from here, 500 to 2,500, 2 active frontline. The most that you ever need though is 3 active frontline. And yes, it's been done. Yes, it's been done that somebody has promoted to director with only 3 active frontline. That is the minimum that you need. Now, that is difficult to maintain if you only have 3 frontline and you're trying to hit director numbers all the time. That is difficult to maintain, not impossible, but you would be a selling machine to counterbalance that. But anyhow, the cool part is no matter what, while you work up the chart, the moment you hit superstar consultant, director, star director, superstar director, you still only have to have 3 active frontline, which means 3 people in your first level that have at least $200 in the system for that month. Okay. It's this number that grows as you get up. Obviously, in order to promote and title, you have to have people. So the more people that you have, the more you're going to move up the compensation plan, so long as you're hitting numbers. But with more people means more TWV. So 2,500, then 6,000, then 10,000, then 30,000, then 80,000. Okay, and that's your GWV. All right. Whew, and I thought we were going to be quick. All right, let's do this. And let me just flip through these really quickly. So lead consultant, star consultant. Again, this is just breaking down that compensation chart I just showed you. Star consultant bonus, the more you promote up the compensation plan, the more opportunities for earnings you have. So when you hit star consultant, you can now get paid 2% off of your lead consultants, frontline teams, and 4% off of all of your essential or certifieds. Superstar consultant, same kind of thing, 500, 6,000. Your percentages start going up. Your percentages that you get paid off of your downline start going up. Here's the visual. Okay, you need at least 500, and these people have to have at least 200, 200, 200, but it has to add up to 6,000 GWV, which equates to 7,500 PRV. Superstar consultant bonus, here's where you start making more, right? Superstar, you earn 3% off of your frontline star consultant teams, 5% off your lead consultant teams, and 7% off of essential or certifieds. Why am I saying 3% off of your star teams? Because you don't get paid 3% off of every single star consultant you have anywhere in your downline. That isn't what that means. What it means is that you are getting paid 3% off of your frontline that is a star consultant's team. Okay, so let's use this example. I'm the superstar consultant. Cassie is my star consultant. Cassie has a team of 15. Okay, we do not count every star consultant that might be in Cassie's downline and give me 3% off of that. We are taking 3% of Cassie, the star consultant's TWV. So stick with me. I'm the superstar consultant. Cassie is the star consultant, my frontline. She has a team of 15. Their TWV is 3,000, let's just say, because she hasn't quite promoted to superstar consultant yet. So she's somewhere in between star consultant and superstar consultant, but her TWV is 3,000. I get 3% off of 3,000 at her title. Okay. At her title, not every star consultant that appears anywhere in my downline. It goes off of your frontline's title. Remember that example I used a little while ago with Becker, where it doesn't matter how Becker's getting paid. I still get paid off of her highest title achieved. She gets paid on what number she's hitting. But for the sake of this example, if we put Becker in this spot, I would be getting 3% off of Becker's TWV at star consultant if that's the highest title she's achieved. Okay, same with leads, same with essentials and certified. So you get 7% off of every one of your frontline that is essential or certified. Okay, I'm gonna skip the director for I'll go through director and I'll skip star and I'll skip superstar director. So 500 PRV, 2,000 in TWV, 10,000 in GWV. We could spend just on director, we could spend time on the compensation plan. You have to have 3 active frontline consultants or higher, but here's how that breaks down. See how as you promote up the compensation plan, you have more opportunities for earnings. 2% off of your frontline superstar consultant TWVs, 5% off star, 7% off lead, 9% off of your essential and certified frontline. These are all your frontline, always just your frontline. Okay. And then director bonuses come into play when you have first generation or frontline. Well, no, first generation directors. They may not be your frontline. All right. And then star director, superstar director bonus. Okay. When a lower rank has a higher rank under them. So here is that question, I believe, Tammy. So you have a superstar and then your frontline is a lead, but your lead has a star. We following? So the superstar receives a 5% bonus on lead TWV because that's her frontline. The lead receives no bonus on her star since the star is at a higher title. The superstar receives a 5% bonus on the entire team volume of the lead, regardless of the title of the downline. The bonus is calculated on the front line's position. Okay, so here we have a situation where me as the superstar gets paid off of this whole team at the lead percentage, but this person does not get paid off of a title that's higher. What question can I clarify with regards to that? Tammy, if you check the chat, do I need a clarification? The rate of pay is the only thing that changes. You are always paid off team wholesale volume of the frontline consultants.
Yeah, there's
So-
no question there. Rand answered it saying they will stay a part of your team until they become a director. Only then will they be in your group.
Yes. And here's the thing though, even if they promote director, they're always considered still under you.
Yeah.
Always. Even if somebody below you surpasses you in title, you still remain their sponsor if you are their sponsor. You still remain their upline, even if their title passed you. Here's the thing. The majority of the time, when a title below you passes you, it's because you don't have enough frontline in place. Or you don't have enough volume. But typically 99% of the time, it's going to be because you don't have enough frontline in place.
Yeah.
Or you don't have a frontline that's active and your downline has enough people that are active. The moment you get your frontline in place and have enough, their title being higher than yours will push you up to their same title. You just have to have the front line in place.
The other question, Melissa, do you lose your title if you lose your one downline? If you have someone that hasn't been active after a year?
No, you'll keep your title. So if you at one time promoted to star consultant and you don't have a downline anymore, you're still a star consultant, but you won't get paid as a star consultant. Remember, this is where title and rank come into play. Title is the highest title you've ever achieved. Rank is where you actually get paid based on your numbers. So if your downline drops off, you're still a star consultant, but you'd be paid as a certified consultant. Does that clear it up? Good.
Yep, that answered both of those questions. So
thank you. We're not going to go through that. Okay, I'm going to switch this. I'm going to switch this slideshow and I'm going to show you some real numbers. Okay. Let me pull up. All right. So here we go. Your business is about to blow up is what we're going to call this. So can you see this okay, or do I need to make it a slideshow? Let me make it a slideshow because I think that will work better.
it still looks pretty good, but
All right. Can you see that okay? Is it full screen or no? No. All right. Hold on.
Now it is.
All right. Oh, what did I do? Hold on. All right. You can see this okay? I'm just
Yeah, we can see it okay.
All right, I'm going to go with this. All right, your business is about to blow up. We already saw this, right? This is the compensation plan. This is just a little snapshot of it, but it's the same one that I showed you before. Here's an example of an organization. Let's just say you have a sponsor, then you have a consultant. This consultant right here is the front line of this sponsor. So this is considered a front line. And then her front line is right here and right here and right here, meaning this purple girl. Purple girl's front line is here, 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 and here. Okay. And then you have this, her front line's a director, which means this is a first generation team. But then under this director, there's another director, which means this is a second generation consultant or second generation director. Okay. You would see a little bit of this, not so much of an organizational chart, but at least where your directors fall in line with that director spotlight that we posted on Together We Sent. It's pinned to the top of the page. You'd see an organization chart a little bit like this that shows you where your director falls in the grand scheme of our organization. But this is just kind of showing you, this is a sponsor, this is a consultant, this is a first generation director, this is just this a frontline consultant with a team, frontline consultant with a team, and a frontline director, first generation. Okay. All right. So here's taking a look at some numbers, and this is what is going to show you the importance of building a team. So March of 2008, PRV was $1,000, one active frontline, team size of 2, paycheck $294.84. April of 08, PRV $1,494, 0 active frontline, but a team size of 2, $373.63. This commission was solely based off of sales. May 2000. So here's where that 2000 comes into play, right? Because my PRV was 2000. I did have 3 active frontline, team size of 4, $664.70 was the commission. Now it fluctuated quite a bit in that first year because it's based on my sales and having my team is just starting to grow. So in July of 08, 521.25, I barely had enough, to make me active, but I got a commission check of $193.89. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. Obviously we had holiday season, right? So we start in the fall, August, September, October, November, always great months. So my sales were higher, but you can see my team started to grow. Now, just because you have a team that's growing doesn't mean, and the larger your team doesn't mean the bigger your paycheck. It just means more opportunity for people to put in orders that you would gain a bonus off of, that you would gain a bonus percentage or a leadership bonus for leading that team. Because here you can see that a lot of my raise in paycheck was because my sales were higher, not necessarily because my team was actually selling. So not only do you have to have team members, but you do have to have team members that are actively participating in their businesses. All right, I know we're almost at the top of the hour. I jinxed myself by saying we'd start early. All right, so there's this snapshot.
Melissa, the one question that I have is on the last number on the bottom. And I'm sure some others that are looking at is on that you had almost the highest active frontline, your largest team size, but one of your smaller paychecks.
And that would be because number one, sales in December were low. So remember, though I had the most active frontline, almost the most active frontline, my sales were, so to break that down for you, 948.80 times 0.75. No.
By 25%.
48. Thank you. 0.25. So only $237 came from my own sales, and
but is it safe to say 22 times back then, was it 150? You had 22 active frontline, so they had 22 with each with 100, at least 150.
Yep. So that's a TWV of about $3,300.
Yeah.
And so again, when sales are lower, this is why you can see it fluctuates. I had more numbers, but my sales were lower than they had been in prior months. So you've got to think, in December, I sold 948, but in November, I sold almost $3,000. And I was getting 30% commission off of that 3,000. So that's why that number is a little bit higher as well. Besides the fact that sales were higher. And I wish I would have put the sales amounts, the GWVs and TWVs. Gosh, if I could go back and get that, I might be able to. I need to update this so that we can see what the TWVs and GWVs were to really give this an accurate picture. But let me show you what happened in 2009. And here I do have GWVs. Now I know that this is going to be a little bit hard to see. Let me see if I can increase it. Does that help a little bit? Gosh, Jody, do you remember making these? Didn't you make it? You were with me. You came to my house.
Yeah.
We did it in like 2010 or 11. Anyway, I did this in 2009 at our leadership retreat. I wanted my, so my GWV for the year of 2000, let's see, 2008 was 274,324. And I had a group of 138. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to beat that. So in 2009, here's where I wrote down my January, my TWV, my February, March, April. So here I do have real numbers. Then I had how many people were in my group. and how many frontline that I added. So this is my sponsoring numbers. I had added 3, I had added 1, added 2, added 2, added 0, added 1, added 1. And then this is my group size that continued to grow. So by the end of the year, actually, this was what I forecasted I wanted. I'm sorry. This isn't what I did in 2008. This is what I forecasted I wanted, and I wanted to beat it. So I ended with sales of 342. So I beat it because I had projected 274. And then I wanted a group of 138, and I ended with a group of 145. And I had 18 frontline that I personally sponsored. Okay. I colored my states. That's where I had consultants. Listen, I was super into building this business once I caught the wave. I was very, very laser focused on knowing that there was potential and I had opportunity and I had to do something about it. So I was very intentional. So I would color my states as I added consultants in those states, not necessarily frontline, but this is what happens, right? You add somebody in Michigan who knows somebody in Indiana, and that person knows somebody in Texas, and all of a sudden your team is going continental. My goal for myself was to have 2 new consultants per month. I wanted 20 by the end of the year. That's the only goal that I had fallen short of. And I had 18 frontline. I had wanted 20. Here's an interesting, this is one of Jody's favorite things though, that I always share. In 2008, my commission was 7,559. In 2009, my commission for the annual year was 23,827. The following year, 63,668. The following year, 2011, 108,939. That is selling Scentsy and building a team and building a business. That is what can happen in 4 years, you guys. And I'm going to stop sharing. I have more that I can share, but I think that we're at the top of the hour, and that's a really great place to stop. Is I'm going to tell you right now that in 4 years, selling Scentsy and building a team, I went to a 6-digit income. 6-figure income. So Rachel, are you laughing at me or laughing at somebody else? You're laughing at me.
I'm just like, I listen, I'm a teacher, so I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm done.
No, I actually knew exactly why you were making that face, because that is what happens when I show that. Jody remembers this from the very first time that I shared it. She always refers to it. In fact, sometimes I have to go to Jody and say, Jody, what was my commission in? Because she has it memorized. Because she remembers it from the first time I showed it. But this is real. This can happen. 4 years. Nowhere else can you go. I mean, okay, I won't say nowhere, but not many places you can go work for somebody else and make this kind of raise per year. I will tell you that it is absolutely possible. It is absolutely possible. We could, you know what I'll do? I'll share this slideshow so that you can look at the rest of it. I will share it on Together We Sent. I do have to insert the income disclosure statement into this. It will be in the comments. It always is on every single one of our YouTubes that we post, or every one of our recordings that we post. I always have a link to the income disclosure. It is on our YouTube channel. But I will post this recording so that you can look back at it. Also, maybe you don't need to listen to me talk. I will post both of the slideshows that I showed you tonight in full on Together We Sent so that you can reference them. I will actually go do it. I promise you, I'm going to go do it right now, because I know that coming off of this call, you might want to see what some of the other numbers look like and how that kind of shook out. So as soon as I hang up, I will go post these on Together We Sent. The recording, because it takes time, we'll need to convert. I will do that in the morning. I will upload last week's and this week's tomorrow. Promise. Let me tell you 2 things before we get to Rand and the giveaway. Cubicle has been changed. Cubicle is now on Fridays, back to the original day that we used to do, but it is at the same time. So 10 a.m. Eastern time. Cubicle is now on Fridays going forward. So no Cubicle tomorrow. And next week's call is on mystery boxes with Cynthia Abraham. And we are really excited about that. So next week is mystery boxes. Andrea, you want to get to the drawing for tonight?
Yes, absolutely. So did you want to announce last week?
Yeah. So, and Christina McGregor, forgive me, yours is still coming. I promise. And then
I've been watching the mail like a hawk.
I know
Rachel Connors, yours went out just today.
I know. Okay, good. So I don't feel so
No.
bad. All
Well,
right, so
these are going to be late too, because yeah, I'm going to be gone for a week. So
but know that we may not be extremely timely, but we are always good on our word. So
I know it'll be worth it.
last week's winner was Angie Willis. So, or Angela Willis. So Lisa, will you let her know that? Because I know she's not on the call tonight, but please let her know that she won last week's.
I
And
will
that
let
she'll
her
be
know.
getting something in the next 6 months from us for winning. Okay?
Yeah.
Let her know that.
Next
All right,
6 months.
Rand, give it to us.
yeah. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I've been just, yeah. Okay. All right. Vanessa Weiss.
Yay!
Yay, thank you.
Ah, that's awesome.
Hey, thank you so much,
Tammy,
guys.
was there anything else that you wanted to say?
No, but I'd like to see if you, Rand, and Nicole could stay on for just a couple minutes.
Absolutely. Let me stop the recording. You guys, I appreciate you. Thank you for getting on. I hope you have an ounce of inspiration, and I'll go post those right now. Okay. Thanks, you guys. You rock.